Good day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day for another episode of Q&A Social Security Disability Today. I am your host, Anthony Reeves, attorney at law, and it's always a pleasure to have you here today. Excuse the brightness and so forth, but we're going to keep this thing rocking and rolling. As always, if you want to ask me questions, please feel free to do so. You know you can catch me at right here, or you can go to www.reevesfirm.com, as well as going to subscribing to my blog at legalbeat.anthonyreeves.com. You can always catch me on Facebook, which of course is facebook.com/ Reeves Law Firm. You can also Twitter me as well, which is of course twitter.com/ legal gold. All right, people, of course, I appreciate the questions. I had a few questions for today, but I decided I was going to put those on pause and focus a little bit more on making this a special edition dealing with Mother's Day. And the reason why is because I thought about today as it relates to Social Security disability and what happens when you find yourself in the position of having to take care of your mom or take care of your parents. I've had the honor of working with a number of different clients who have found themselves in that position where their parents are now needing to apply for disability benefits, and to be very honest, they don't have a clue. And I wanted to more so share this from the example of a situation that happened a couple of years ago with a very good friend of mine. I actually got a call from a young lady and who I've known for years, and we've been really good friends. And quite honestly, she said, "My mom is thinking about applying for Social Security. I don't know what to do." I've had to deal with this so many times over the course of my years of doing this, and I'm pretty much on autopilot, but it's a unique phenomenon when you're in a situation where a close friend is saying, "Take care of my mom." So, of course, I went a little extra mile. Her mom went to apply for Social Security benefits, and I went with her. And I sat down with her and listened to them ask her various questions about her condition, listened to them ask questions about her doctors, and listened to her give her various responses. I didn't put myself down as the attorney because in this particular instance, I just wanted to kind of be there more support. If I remember correctly, I don't think I listed myself. I may have, but I don't remember. I do remember that the moment we walked at the door, because I actually picked her mom up, took her mom to Social Security, sat there with her, and then brought her back home, explained the whole process to her. Then I had to explain the whole process to her mom, to her daughter. And it was at that time when I really started to see what it means when someone is going through the process and their loved one is sick. In this example that I just provided to you, my friend's mother was diagnosed with terminal cancer. She had actually beaten it for a period of time, was in remission for a number of years, and it came back aggressively. My good friend, and love her to death, was in a very unique position because she had a brother, but he was a younger brother, so everything kind of fell on her. And of course, you can imagine what happens. All the family members are kind of bombarding her with questions. She doesn't really know what happened. So, of course, she's calling me and says, "Okay, I get this form. What does it mean? Mama got this form. What does it mean? Mama got this form. What does it mean?" And I can tell you, when you're going through this process, and especially when a loved one is sick, and especially when it's your parents, you're hypersensitive to the fact that you're like, they shouldn't have to focus on all this paperwork when they should be focusing on trying to get better. But a lot of times, the person who's best suited to do this is them because they can share with them intimate details that either myself or her didn't know about. So, what I ended up doing a couple of times is I actually found myself in a situation where I'd be three-way because my friend was out of state, her mom was in the same state as I am, and so I actually was going down the street kind of giving her various details. As a matter of fact, I actually went over to her house a couple of times just to help her with little nuances of it. Because when you're in this situation, and this is the one thing you have to understand, when you find yourself in a situation where you're taking care of your loved one, especially your mom, somebody like your mom, it's already overwhelming because you're seeing your mother in a position that you've never seen her before. If you're like me and I have a very strong mother, that's the only thing I know. I know my mom as a strong woman. So imagine what it's like. Here you are as the child having to take care of your mom or your parent when they're at a very weak point in your life. You're seeing them in a way that you're not used to seeing them before. So at the same time, you're trying to be objective, you're trying to help them through this process, but at the same time, you're fighting the emotions because you're seeing someone you've known for decades in a position of vulnerability that you've never seen before. And it can be frustrating. And I can tell you, she called me. She didn't snap at me, but you could hear the intensity in her voice because she's trying to keep it together. She's trying to deal with her mom's personal affairs as well as help maneuver her mom through the Social Security process, which in my mind I knew wouldn't take very long because of her condition, she was categorized as what we call a Terry case, terminally ill. So they moved her case through the system fairly quickly. But ladies and gentlemen, this is not the first time I've had this happen. I've had this happen a number of times where the kids who are good friends of mine call me, and because their parents are going through the process. And to be honest, despite how sophisticated you are, how many degrees you have, heck, in a couple of instances where I've had people call me, these were attorneys who had no knowledge of the Social Security process. So their parents are going through this and they don't know what to tell them. So, of course, they're calling me for guidance to help them in terms of the forms, going to the doctor's appointment. What does the decision mean? How long do they have to wait? Is there anything they can do to speed this up? It can be an overwhelming process. It's tough for the loved one, but it's even harder on the kids who find themselves having to help their parents navigate through this process. So I share this with you for two reasons. One, for those of you who are blessed to have your parents and they are healthy, they're good spirits, and they haven't gotten to the point where you're having to take certain actions on their behalf, enjoy them, embrace them for what they have. For those of you who are in the position where you are having to take the responsibility to take the lead on behalf of your loved ones because they are no longer in a position or they're in a diminished ability in terms of their ability to take care of themselves, don't be frustrated. It's easy. Trust. I'm going to tell you that something happens to my mom, I'm going to be a bag of water. And I always keep that in mind whenever I'm dealing with people whose loved ones are in the position where they're not functioning at the same level that most people are used to, and you're now having to assume that role. And I got news for you kids. At some point, you're going to have to switch roles with your parents. You're going to have to take that patriarchal or matriarchal role to make sure that their well-being is looked after, and it's not going to be easy. Use resources that are available. Trust me, and nothing but love for you. All my friends take full advantage of the fact that they know this is an area of law that I do. And I don't mind helping them because I know how frustrating it is. And the simple fact of the matter is that most of us have never been in a position where we have to do this. None of my friends have ever been in a position where they have to help their parents get disability benefits. This is a new phenomenon. So don't be shy. Remember, the biggest thing you can do is to be there for your parents and to use the resources available to you. For those of you who find yourself, and this can be applicable to all situations, whether it be kids benefits or you're helping your loved one get benefits, just remember one thing. Don't let yourself be overwhelmed by the process. It is a process. And if there are resources out there available to you, take advantage of them. It will make things go by infinitely easier. Have a wonderful Mother's Day, everyone. And I look forward to hitting your questions again, starting back again next week. And I'm glad that you came here, and I hope this was helpful. Have a wonderful day. And more importantly, if your mother, have a happy Mother's Day. And if your mother, good mother, bad mother, honor your mother, wish them well as well. Have a good day. And this is Anthony Reeves, and this is your Q&A, Social Security Disability Today.